This is a book. You know this book. You know it well. You and I worked really hard on this book. And it's a book that I'm very proud of. And I think that you are proud of it because you had a hand in it, in helping me come up with this story. And I'm very proud of this book, as I said. And since you and I completed this book, 2 years ago, I've worked very hard at promoting it and trying to get people to purchase the book and enjoy the book and review the book, and to not much success, to be perfectly honest. And which is sad because this is probably one of the books that I'm most proud of. And then I read about a little story that cropped up this past week where an author gamed the system and wound up on the New York Times bestseller list. And this was the author's debut book. How did they do it? It's pretty simple. And it's a game that a lot of other authors have played over the years, wherein they buy their book in bulk and have other people buy their book in bulk, such that they sell enough copies to buy their way onto the New York Times bestseller list. And it happens. Happens a lot. And I know that there are other games that authors have played. People have purchased reviews to an exaggerated extent, not exaggerated, to an incredible extent, such that they wind up being on Amazon's bestseller list. I always found it pretty remarkably questionable when a book just comes out and within a week's time there are hundreds of reviews on that book. Well, people have been caught doing that. And they've been caught in the midst of other scams. Now, I told myself a long time ago, and I made a deal with you, Muse, that I was going to do this my way. That I wasn't going to game the system. That I wasn't going to ride on the coattails of other authors. And it's just like it was when I was an actor. I wanted to succeed because of my talent, and nothing more. I didn't want to schmooze my way into success, or sleep my way into success. I wanted to success my way into success. And that's the same way that I've approached the craft of writing. And to that extent, I tend to be a bit silent about it. And I try to let my words speak for me. And my fiction, my stories, my characters. I want them to speak for me. Because at the heart of it all, that is my art. And my art is the thing that should propel me forward. Not purchasing my way onto the New York Times bestseller list. To be quite honest, I've never actually even cared about being on lists, bestsellers. Sure, I've had books that have been on the top for a brief period of time, but I don't use that as a tool. That's, to me, that's an accomplishment of the work, not me. And I'm flabbergasted, to use a fun little word there. I'm flabbergasted that this happens, that there are artists out there. No, I take that back. These are not artists. That there are people out there who are willing to do whatever it takes, no matter whose back they have to step on, no matter how much money they have to spend to do so, to get on top. On top of what? On top of a list that's it doesn't really matter? I mean, sure, maybe getting on that list is going to give you a bump in sales for a brief period of time unless you stay on it for a long time, because chances are if you stay on that list for long enough, the execs at Hollywood are going to be made aware of your work, and we all know that's where the money is. So sure, maybe there is some validity to those lists, but for me as an artist, that is not the goal. For me as an artist, the goal is to create and to constantly be creating something better than what I just created. And so I spend most of my time working on my words and a whole lot less time working on promoting myself. And that's probably to my detriment. But it's not who I am. In my heart, at my core, I'm an artist. I'm not a marketer. I'm not a promoter. And I'm certainly not a scammer. And Muse, I know, you don't just inspire me to write stories. You inspire me. You helped inspire Zombie Radio, the podcast. You've helped inspire me to do other things. But the one thing you have never inspired me to do is scam my way to the top of anything. Of course, sometimes I think that you would rather me live in obscurity, just so I guess maybe you and I get to have our own little thing together and no one else tries to dig their filthy claws into you. Because we've got something good going. I know we do. And I trust in that. And I trust in this. I trust in this. And I will always trust in that. And yeah, sometimes it's harder than others. Sometimes, and don't get me wrong, I am thrilled when my friends enjoy success, because that means hard work pays off. And the friends that I have in this industry work hard. And they work hard on their art, not on scamming the system. So, I don't think it's the norm. I don't think that there are more people out there trying to scam their way to the top than there are people who aren't. But I'm just grateful that that's not what we're trying to do. Because I want to, at the end of the day, I want to go to bed knowing that I respected my art. And if I were one of those persons gaming the system, purchasing my book in bulk or buying click farms, I would not be able to go to sleep at night with that feeling that I respected my art. And Muse, if you know, certainly you're not a Muse to someone who would do that, because I have way too much faith in you, Muse, that you're a good guy or girl. You're good. You're gender neutral. You're a good they, Muse. You're a very good they. I don't think that you have it in you to inspire someone to pull such shenanigans. And if there are writers out there listening to me, watching me, and you are gaming the system, just please understand this: that you are hurting all other writers out there. And that you are doing your art a disservice, smacking it right in the face, spitting in its eye. And if you can go to sleep at the end of the day with that on your conscience, well, then I don't know what to say to you. Other than, why don't you, who are gaming the system, why don't you let your work speak for itself? And see how far you can get. Why don't you let your words do the walking and talking? Huh? Are you proud enough of your work that it can stand on its own without you buying its way to the top of some list that's temporary at best? Let your art speak for itself. Respect the craft and respect your fellow artists. Okay? Now, that's not to you, Muse. I know you know that's not to you. Of course, that's not to you. But if you happen to be in conversation with other muses, musi, who do serve, I use serve loosely, you know what I mean, serve those artists who are gaming the system, you tell those muses that they need to have a talk with their artists, just like you and I do. And you need to make sure that they understand how they are disrespecting everything involved with their art. Will you do that for me, Muse, please? Because something has to be done about this. Just a thought. Anyway, I'm going to go back to working on my craft because that's what I do. Work, work,